Well, hello, hello. This is Cindy, your host at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. Make sure that you follow me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And go to Bucket List Coach Web Show Live on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified of other awesome videos. So, a little bit about the show. I am a full time travel agent and podcaster. And I created this show so I could share what my friends are doing on their bucket list, also various excursion companies in the area and abroad. Just earlier, I had my friend in Jamaica with no Jamaica tours. So a little bit plug here. If you are a small to medium-sized business and you want a podcast just like this, simply go to StreamYard.com. And if you'd like to comment today, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so we could see your comments. I am an ambassador with National Day Calendar, and I celebrate every single day. Today is National Admin Professionals Day, so I want to plug Vonnie with Skydive San Diego. She does an amazing job for Jeff. And also Chocolate Covered Cashews Day. Make sure that you go to nationaldaycalendar.com. So the story of Skydive San Diego. I actually met Kevin. He used to be the marketing director over at Skydive San Diego. I met him about 3 years ago. I had him on the show, and he actually inspired me to make this happen. And just to let everybody know, I'm afraid of heights, just like I'm afraid of the ocean. And I did my very first surf lesson last year. So I want to thank Kevin for making that happen. And of course, Grant, he was my tandem instructor. So this is actually how it went down. We're in the airplane. There's actually, I think it was about 2 or 3 of the instructors that were, I think they were going at maybe like 9 or 10,000 feet. And I think we went at 13. I was the very first person to go at 13. I looked right at Grant. I'm like, dude, not really sure about this. And he goes, are you sure? She goes, because this has happened before. And I do not want to go down in the plane. I want to jump out of the plane. And I just said, I'm not sure about this. He goes, you know what? No, sounds like go to me. And I'm like, okay, strap me up. Let's do this thing. And it was the most amazing, blissful feeling. And it's not like you're falling, it's you're floating and it's pure bliss. And I am so stoked. Today I have Jeff. He is the CEO of Skydive San Diego. How are you doing, Jeff?
Awesome. Better than I deserve.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell everybody your story. You were a Navy SEAL, correct?
I was. I spent 13 years of my adult life as a Navy SEAL, and it's hard to top that. I mean, you leave that job and then you get out and go into normal life. It's kind of shall we say anticlimactic when you leave something adrenaline loaded as that and step out here into normal life as what we kind of refer to it as. You start doing something a little bit more normal that maybe other people do as well. Like, I don't know, go to work and sit in a cubicle. And it just didn't set well with me. I just wasn't good at it. And so I miss the guys a lot, although those guys I'm still in touch with and I still see them almost every day. And several of them even work here at the drop zone. So it's been a nice little transition, even though it's been some time since I got out. Now it's kind of being able to be back in having your finger back in the trigger well, so to speak, because I get to do things here, and I'm always surrounded by people from my former community, just because we teach all the kids who are coming into the SEAL teams. They learn how to free fall here. This is where they learn how to free fall. So I get to see all the new guys. I get to get out and talk to them once in a while. And we have instructors that I was in the military with that are also teaching here. So,
wow, I mean, that's actually an ultimate bucket list for your career. I actually was a chef for 25 years. So that was my first career bucket list. Now being a travel agent, that's my next career bucket list. So tell us a little bit about your pay it forward story. You gave back to someone several years ago.
So I was in Denmark at a skydiving event, and my wife called me up and said, I want to send you something. I want you to give it a good read and consider it, because I know how you're wired, and this is not going to sit well with you, but just let me know what you think. And she sent me a Facebook post that a young lady named Melinda had posted, and it was a plea for her own life. She had a disease called polycystic kidney disease, where basically on her kidneys there's cysts that form, but it didn't really affect her kidneys. It had migrated to her liver, and her liver was about the size of an infant. And so it was pushing on her heart, her diaphragm, her lungs. It was pushing on her intestines. The kidneys were touching her spine. Her stomach was down in the lower left quadrant of her abdomen. It was just painful for her. She couldn't take a full breath, and her heart rate was constantly above 100 just because it couldn't get a full beat. It could only get portions of a beat. So it was like, instead of like a nice, good heart, it was just, super fast. And it was just terrible for her. So not all this was in the text message, and I don't really text that well. It took me, I read the top 3 lines, and it was, if I don't get a liver, I'm going to die. That was the gist of what I got. So of the 30 lines of text that my wife sent me, I read 3 or 4 lines, just texted her back. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I'm going to get back to work. And she said, I'm in. That's it. That's all you got. How about, let's talk about this? I'm like, what's there to talk about? She doesn't get a liver, she dies. How is this a conversation piece?
Wow.
She said, that's a fantastic point. So my wife, being as competitive natured as she is, decided that before I got home, she was going to try to be a donor. And so my wife went through the process and got kicked out early because she has a special marker that appeared on her blood panel that basically indicated that her blood would clot sooner than anticipated, possibly causing some kind of foreign bodies and obstructions flowing through her bloodstream, causing brain problems on the operating table. So she was kicked out of the process. I came back, filled out the questionnaire. I got all those answers right, apparently. Went and did my initial blood test. That came out right. And then after about 4 trips to Denver, Colorado from San Diego to do testing, they test everything.
Wow.
And I was cleared to be able to do the surgery, and the day that my last day that I was there, I got to meet Melinda, and we've been family ever since. We literally share DNA like blood siblings would, but she is my little sister. She's 37 years old now. She's an amazing mom. She's an amazing wife. She's beautiful. And her husband and I are super tight, and I love her babies. So I literally got another member of my family just through doing something like that. So I look at it like this, like I'm the one that came out ahead. I won that. So.
Wow, it's all about being serving others and being a servant leader. And that, yeah, when Kevin told me that story a few years ago, I'm like, oh God, I need to get him on the show to talk about that. That's so amazing. Wow. Oh, my heart is full. So, why is Skydive San Diego a great option for the Fear and the SoCal bucket list?
Well, I look at fear kind of in a different way. Fear being afraid is an emotion that God has given us. Fear is the counterfeit to being afraid. So those are words that a lot of times people use interchangeably, but they're not interchangeable words. They're completely different. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid quite often. It just happens.
Really?
It's human. Yeah, sure. There's things that I'm afraid of. I am afraid to match my fingernail with my shirt, like you do. I'm afraid to do that. That's fantastic looking, by the way. The first thing I saw when you came on the screen, I was like, look at that. She even matches her fingernails to her shirt. That's awesome. But there's things that everybody's afraid of. When I'm afraid of something, I usually go straight at whatever it is that I'm afraid of, because I'm going to grow from the process and the adventure that I'm going to gain through doing whatever it was that I was afraid of. When you're afraid, there's room for courage. When you're in fear, you seize up, lock up. You end up laying on your back in the fetal position possibly, or just you're not moving. You're just locked up and you just can't go anywhere. But the thing is, the best decisions are made while you're moving and doing something. If you're locked up in fear, that means that nothing is going to get done. Did you ever try steering a car that doesn't move, that's just sitting in the parking lot? Remember when I was a little kid, my mom was 4 years old. When I was 4 years old, she got out and I slid over into the driver's seat and tried moving the steering wheel, and it wouldn't move. It wouldn't move because the car wasn't moving. If you're moving along, you're doing stuff, at least when you make maybe a bad decision, a little bit of just off, all you have to do is just, it's a little bit of a correction and you're back on track. Whereas if you're in fear, you're not able to get that done. So with the skydiving thing, right? I see it every day when I'm out here. People they land and watching the look on their face and hearing them yell and scream, that never gets old. It is amazing. But there are people that show up and they're here because they are afraid of heights. And let me tell you something, Cindy, I am afraid of heights too.
What?
I am.
No way, dude. Are you serious?
Dead serious. I have ceilings. My living room, I have 20-foot ceilings in a portion of my living room. I do not change those light bulbs. No. I don't want to trust my 210-pound frame on a ladder 25 feet in the air because something gives out. I'm going to hit the ground real hard. My wife, my little 100-pound something wife, she gets up there and she's just changing light bulbs. Not me. That does not happen. But when I'm in a plane at 13,000 feet, my heart rate doesn't even change. So it's kind of a weird dynamic that happens there, right? But yeah, we see it out here all the time. People they're here because they're afraid to do it. And I always tell people, it will change your life. It will change the way you do business in your heart and in your head. Doing something that's outside of your comfort zone, it will always make things better. You'll be better for it. So
the best things in life are on the other side of fear.
That's right.
That's so true. So one thing I want to talk about, because I'm still scared to skydive. I'm still scared to surf. I only had one surf lesson and one skydive. But one thing that I think is really crucial is when you take a skydive, you are like ready to do anything. So I'm actually going to take a skydive before my next surf lesson, probably about a week before.
Nice.
So I won't be so scared. But yeah, I'm still scared. But
when you come out, you know a guy.
Exactly. So what is the typical experience with Skydive San Diego? So if someone wanted to skydive with you, what is the whole breakdown of how their day is going to look with you guys?
You show up at your appointment time and be a little fluid with your day. I think it's a good way of putting that, because normally we try to get everybody in and out of here in about an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes on a really busy day, if we have say you're jumping with 150 of your closest friends, because that's about how many tandems we'll have on a busy day. It may take you a couple hours to get up and out of our property. It's just how it works. But you show up and you walk into the lobby, and we have all these iPads that are set up where you'll do your waiver there. While you're doing your waiver, the device is matching you with your driver's license, which will happen at the counter. Just approach the counter, and just the girls at the counter, our people up there, they'll say, "What can I see your driver's license?" They'll match you with the images that they have. They'll begin to do the business transaction, and then they'll say, "Okay, now the next step is very important. You need to have fun. Are you ready?" You can walk out that door, and there's a yellow line. Follow the yellow line all the way to a yellow square. When you get to the yellow square, our staff is going to take over for you. All you have to do is simply follow directions. So you go and stand in the yellow square, and one of our instructors shows up and does what's called tandem training. And they're going to explain to you, you're going to be putting a harness on. This harness is directly attached to the parachute system, not so much the instructor. You're not attached to him. You're attached to the parachute system. And while we get in the aircraft, we're going to sit in this configuration. At this altitude, I'm going to have you turn around and have you sit on my knees. We're going to hook the system in. We're going to do the upper connectors. We're going to do the lower connectors. And then we're going to cinch things down. And then we're going to make sure that your helmet that your goggles are secured, and make sure your hair is secured, and make sure everything's everything's in its place. And then at our time to jump, we're going to make our way to the door. We're going to crouch down nice and low so we can clear the door. We're going to do a count of 3, ready, set, go. And then we're going to leave the aircraft. And I want you just, as we leave the aircraft, you're just going to be holding on to your harness. I'm going to go ahead and set our drogue. I'm going to go ahead and do our handles checks. As soon as that's all set and everything is good to go, I'm going to take your hands. I'm going to put you out in a free fall position. And I want you just to make sure you keep your head up, because that's where the video guy is going to come in, because videos of someone's face are much prettier than videos that are of them looking over here and looking over there and looking down there. This is a much better video for you to show your friends and family, and make sure you have a big smile on your face. And also when you smile, that tenses up the face a little bit and things aren't flapping around so much. So have a good time. Make sure you have a big smile. And then the parachute's going to open. The parachute will open at about 5,500 feet. When that opens, your instructor is going to do some canopy checks. He's going to check our area, make sure that no one's around us, and then we can have a little fun with the parachute as well. We can spiral down a little bit. And
oh yeah, I'm gonna do that next time.
Have some fun, because that's the part that takes your stomach and puts it up in your throat. Leaving the aircraft doesn't do that, oddly enough. But under canopy, you definitely get that, like very roller coaster ride. But it's like a 5-minute roller coaster ride. And then the instructor disconnect only the lower connectors, because then you can swing freely in front of the instructor, making it easier for you to run out your landing. And then he will do some drills with you up top. Okay, so lift your legs up nice and high, and then he's going to go to do a flare. There you go, and that's how we're going to land. And so now you've been taught how to land. Now we're going to come in, because we have to work together to land. You and me. We have to
landed flat on my butt because I have a bad ankle, so I was all nervous landing. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I'll learn next time. Yeah.
So then you come in to land, and then I would tell you, like, all right, Cindy, put your legs up nice and high. Get your legs up. Bring your legs up as high as you can, and then I'll come in and I'll flare. And then we land. Okay, now put your legs down, right, and stand up. And then we're going to take the last few steps together. And then I disconnect the upper connectors, and now you're safely back on the ground in front of your friends and family.
Wow.
That's how it goes.
Wow. So I have another story I want to say, and then one more question, and then we'll close out. So when I went skydiving that day, I actually met this young man. He's in the video that I sent you with the testimony. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that one of my friends who's with a nonprofit, that actually was his son. So I posted it the next day. He was like, "Oh, Julian, that's my son." I'm like, "What?" So what were the odds that I was going to be there and my friend's son at your same, skydiving facility? It was amazing. And he had so much energy. And
amazing things to say. He was just like, "You have got to do this." It was really fun to watch.
Like microwave minutes, like whatever he said in his little video. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah. So big kudos to Julian, if you're watching. So amazing to hear your story. So my last question is, if someone wanted to be a tandem instructor, how do they go about it? Is there so many flying hours, or how does that work?
So our instructors here, many of them I have mentored and coached and in a way raised myself. I view our staff out here as my own kids. Like, I love them like I have raised them. I remember one day back in 2000, halfway through, maybe early 2017, late 2016, this young man who I've known since he was 16 years old, because I used to do some work with his baseball team in Coronado, and he just always stuck to me. He called me up one day. He said, "Can I come out? I just need some mentoring, and I just want to hang out with you." I was like, "Absolutely, come on out." 2 hours later, he left with a job working in our maintenance department. So, raking gravel and stuff like that. And then he saw skydiving. He saw it working. He goes, "I think I want to try that." So I bought him a tandem. And he's like, "I think I want to go through training." So then he went through AFF and got off student status, took 7 jumps to get off student status. And then He got his 25 jumps, got his A license, got his 50 jumps, got his B license, got his 200 jumps, got his C license, got his 500 jumps, got his D license, and then went through AFF,
Wow.
tandem school. Now he's at 5,000 jumps, 4,000 jumps, or something like that.
Oh.
One of our instructors at Skydive San Diego, and just doing a fantastic job. And there's several guys that are like that. One of them I've known since he was 7 years old. His dad put SEAL teams together, and I've known Corey since he was a little guy, and now he's one of our instructors. And another kid just showed up. He just showed up out of the blue, and he stood there, really excited guy. He just came to us from Lake Tahoe as a ski lift instructor, and he showed up and said, hey, I want to do that. Hey, how do I do that? And he said it right when Jay Stokes walked by. Jay Stokes is very iconic in the skydiving world. He was a president of the United States Parachute Association. He has several world records. The guy he taught me how to free fall in 1995 while he was still in the military. So the guy, everybody knows who Jay Stokes is. Jay Stokes happened to walk by, and he said, how do I get to do that? And he goes, well, how many jumps do you have? And this kid said, well, his name is Seth. And Seth said 0. He goes, well, you might want to start with going through AFF and getting a jump, And so he did, and did great. Now he's a pro skydiver. And so it really just starts with somebody just saying, I think that's what I want to do. I love this sport enough that I want to do this full time. And there's plenty of them. And plenty of them that say that. And there's plenty of jobs to be had. Skydiving is only getting bigger. It's not getting smaller. Skydive San Diego is only growing. It's not shrinking. And our staff and facilities and everything just keeps getting better. Our aircraft keep getting better. We're the only aircraft here starting tomorrow. I started a deal where we're going to be the only drop zone in the United States that's Part 135 aviation regulation as far as our maintenance goes, which means it's level maintenance for our aircraft. And so all these things that go into skydiving is safety is paramount. And so if somebody has that mind of being safe at all times, even though you're doing something that's inherently dangerous, I say get after it. Go through school. Go through find the nearest drop zone to you, or just come here. We'll take care of you and get you through school. And you just got to get the jumps in, and you just got to jump with as many people as you can, learn as much as you can, and before you know it, you'll have enough jumps to be able to go and get your certification.
That's so awesome. So before I close out the broadcast, I actually I'm on TikTok. So what I want to do, I'm going to do a really quick little intro, and then you're going to close it.
Okay.
Maybe like 10 seconds. So here we go. Well, hello. This is Cindy over at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. And I have Jeff here from Skydive San Diego. So tell everybody why they need to skydive this year for their SoCal bucket list.
You need to skydive because it'll change your life. It'll change the way you do business in your head and in your heart. And it's something that's good and fun and clean that you can do with the whole family as long as you're over 18. So make sure you sign up. Get out to Skydive San Diego and have a great day.
And make sure to follow Skydive San Diego on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube, and share the love. And we'll see you here on the next show. So I'm going to put you in the green room, and I'll see you in there right about 30 seconds.
All right.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Don't tell me that you're afraid to skydive. Seriously, come on, let's do this thing. Come out with me, learn to skydive, learn to surf. Oh my God, I cannot tell you the feeling that you're going to have once you skydive. You can do anything for like those 2 weeks. It's absolutely amazing. So next on the show, I actually have my friends Stephanie and Jason, and we're talking about this really great perk that you could have for your small business. As a matter of fact, if you are following this show and you're following Skydive San Diego, make sure that you go to Bucket List Coach Web Show Live here in the chat, and you could actually win a hotel trip for 2. So we will see you on the next show, and make your life amazing, and think of 5 people every single day that you can show gratitude to. Shaka, baby.